Hello, my name is Starlight. Welcome to my YouTube channel, and I'm reaching out to all of you beautiful souls out there. I hope you're doing great, and I hope you're able to get out in nature somewhere. So yes, it's so important to come outside. Come on. Get out, get some fresh air. I know some people at this time of year they do get out because they can't handle the heat, and that was somebody said that long time ago when I used to work in back of a kitchen. They said if you can't handle the heat, get out of the kitchen, and so Starlight did. So anyway, it got a little too steamy in there for Starlight. So I do love all of you. I hope you're able to get out in nature somewhere. And besides getting out, I hope you're really, 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 really taking good care of yourself. Not only yourself, but your loved ones. Anyway, I do love all of you. You can like this video if you want to see a change in the world or be a change in the world. You can give it thumbs up. That way YouTube will spread it out to someone else. And also you could share my videos with your family, your friend, your mom, your dad, your kids maybe, um, your neighbors, a stranger, your cat, your dog, a possum. You have a possum for a pet? They are something. They actually can make it look like they're dead. They can fake, like they're dead, but they still could be alive. I'm not going to tell you the sad story that happened with Starlight with a possum. We'll just leave that one back there somewhere, right? But they hang up on their tails upside down. So it's amazing that you have a pet possum. Yeah, you sure share my videos with your pet possum. Besides doing that, you can also subscribe to my YouTube channel. Plus, you can push the notification bell. Starlight will ring it. And you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can do that twice if you want. Sure, why not, And you can also leave a message down below, beep, beep, beep. Plus, if you want, you can follow me on Instagram, and that is at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook at Kathy with a K, Digman Starlight. Now, to jump in this video, this is a very hard topic here. I don't know how many people are even going to check it out, because this is a video that affects all of us at one point in our life. It could be when you were a little kid, growing up, and you're teenagers. Maybe you're a teenager now, or, like in your 20s and your 30s and your 40s and your 50s and your 60s and your 70s and your 80s and your 90s and your hundreds and your hundred. You're over 100 years old. Oh, wow. How did you do that? So this video is for everyone, and I know we've all had to deal with this at one point or another in our life. And so the title of this video is Forgive Them, for they know not what they do. Isn't that weird? Forgive them, for they know not what they do. And then I read that in my Bible long time ago. I found that in my Bible when I was learning about forgiving people that have done me wrong. And when I say done me wrong, I mean done me wrong. Is I had to learn how to forgive them. Because I'm not going to word this right, but it says, how do you expect God to forgive you if you can't forgive others? There's something like that in the Bible that I read, and I'm like, well, I do want God to forgive me for my shortcomings and my things that I do that are wrong, and so yeah, I have to learn to forgive other people, and that is not easy, right? I know a lot of you are like, "Rrr, rrr, rrr, rrr," but hey, 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 calm down, calm down. It is not easy, especially when like you're a kid and you didn't do anything wrong, and it could have been a family member, or a relative, like, that was related to your family, some kind of family member. Could have been your mom, it could have been your dad, it could have been your brother, it could have been your sister, could have been your aunt, could have been your uncle, could have been your grandma, could have been grandpa, could have been your cousins, stepbrothers, stepmothers, stepfathers, um, any of them. It could have been a family member's friend, it could have been a friend that came around when you were a kid, where, like that is what happens sometimes when kids are neglected, that when people on the outside or related to you might say, this is my opportunity to do something. And, that does happen to a lot of kids. You would think, I would think that this should not be happening anymore, but it is, you know, even though now they're tougher on stuff, it still happens today. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to start a YouTube channel, is that we need to stop this kind of behavior out there in this world of where little kids are being abused in one way or another. And abuse is, it could be verbally, like, so this video, I want for kids to watch. It could be verbally where somebody's calling you names. And I'm not talking about good names. I'm talking about names like being called stupid or a retard. Let me think of what else. Like a lot of parents might say, how stupid can you be to do such a thing like that? Or lazy, you're lazy, like, there's some really horrible stuff that happens behind the doors in a lot of families' houses, where the mom or dad, or it could have been your brother or sister, calling you names like retard or stupid or ugly, or call you fat, all kinds of, sometimes people might call you weird or strange, like in Starlight. Those names are actually, if somebody said you're weird or strange, it's like, hey, that's a compliment. I'll take that. I like being weird and strange and different. Thank you. I like being different. I don't want to be like anybody. I want to be myself. I want to be my unique individual. That's what I love. I love where I don't have to be like anybody else. I can be who I am. And now I've been actually creating, inventing a new version of myself. That's why Starlight is here, is because I'm reinventing myself. I'm letting go of Kathy Dingman, even though I love her. It's just I gotta let her go. She can't handle this anymore here. Even if I'm going into the fifth dimension, she can't. She's done her work here. So just like your phones, like you couldn't use your 3G phone or your 4G phone right now, right? Well, that's about how Kathy Dingman is. It's like she's an old, like an upload, a download. Actually, that was a download. There is to, Kathy Dingman, an old version like of myself. And so you can actually create different versions of yourself, so you can become that greatest version of yourself, or to be the change that you want to see in the world. So really, it is so vitally important that you do, like I said, this is very, very tough. A lot of people go through a lot of stuff in their life, and it could have been when they were babies. It could have been before they were even born. There's abuse going on before the child was born, because there's a lot of parents that they had babies and it was unplanned pregnancies. They didn't protect themselves. And that's why it's so important, really, if you don't want any babies, go get fixed. Because, I know, I've dated men in my life, and you know what I found out with all the guys? They don't want to wear condoms. See, now for a female, I'd have to say it is a different story where, it doesn't bother me. I might not even feel the difference really. Where a guy, they could feel the difference. So with that is that, you really want to do the right thing, and if you don't want any kids, don't get hooked up with somebody that wants kids. Go with somebody that, like if you don't want kids, go with somebody that doesn't want kids. And if you want kids, make sure you go with a great guy or a great woman that wants kids, that it can be not only a good wife or husband, but can be either a great mom or dad. Sometimes people forget about that stuff. They think about, ooh, I like you, and ooh, I like you, but are they going to be a good mom or dad? And that is so vitally important. That's why, we got so many problems in the world, is because too many people are looking for the quick fix. It's a one night stand thing, or a friends with benefits, or all kinds of stuff out there, and these days they got all kinds of things, like I don't know if they have it in all states or they just stopped this in the New York state, but they had a thing called Craigslist personals, and that was a very Starlight has been on there a lot in the past, so I even put posts out there on Craigslist personals, and there was a lot of horrible stuff I read on there. I know I put some posts on there that were questionable, but wow, because anything and everything was on that site. That's a very, very dangerous site to go on. A lot of, unsafe people go on those sites. So you really got to keep yourself safe and think of who you're getting yourself involved with, and it really starts off with self-love. Really, if you don't love yourself, yeah, you're gonna put yourself in situations like Starlight did in the past. So you want to protect yourself. You want to love yourself and say, you know what, something doesn't sound right, or I'm not going to do that because I know that, I'm looking for trouble if I do something like that. And so you got to keep yourself safe out there. And when it comes to being a kid, and like a lot of kids, like I was saying, is that they go through abuse. Like the mom might want to have an abortion, and she might want to try to kill the child before the child's even born. And she might not even know what sex it is, whether it's a male or a female, and she might not even care. And a lot of dads might even say, yes, let's try to kill the baby. And, I am not for that. I believe that really if we allow such things, and I can't tell you what to do with your body, absolutely not. But so is it okay for all the babies to get killed because they were unplanned and all that? No, absolutely not. There's a lot of people out there that would love to adopt those beautiful babies. So that is why it's so important that adults are responsible when having babies. And I know that there's other cases out there like incest or rape, which now I guess this is not going to be able to be a video for kids, is where moms don't want to have those babies because of those kind of situations, and that is a totally hard thing to deal with. Where there's other mothers out there that have gone through that, where they will go through the full term and then just let somebody else have the baby once it's delivered. So really, and those are cases that it is hard, and you have to forgive those people. And you could have been innocent. You might have not have looked for that kind of thing to happen to you, and it happens more than it should out in this world out here. But even like with family members, is that if you have been abused, and that could have been, like I said, verbally, it could have been physically, where you've been beaten, and there's different levels of that. You could have been neglected, where that's where a lot of abuse starts, is because nobody was there to watch you and protect you in the first place. So that's why it's so important that people just don't get hooked up with just anyone. And if you're a woman, you know, make sure the guy's wearing a condom, or like, and I'm not going to tell you what to do with your body, but birth controls, not everybody agrees to using birth control, and that's why it's so important to, to have the guy to use a condom. And, it's not just the man's responsibility. It's also for the females to be responsible of their bodies, and being a female, I could definitely say this myself, where I've caved in to men because they didn't want to wear the condom, but we really, as women, we have to stand up and for ourselves and our bodies, and really let the men know, not all men are like this, but a good portion of them are, is that we need to use our voice and say, hey, if you want to play, then you gotta, pay for those condoms, baby, or whoever that guy is, I'm sorry, but, you gotta not only protect yourself from getting pregnant, if you can get pregnant, is also what can you pick up from the guy or girl, both sexes, you can catch something from them. So guys and women, it's so important to make sure, I have a whole bunch of condoms. Where did I stick them, babies? you know, um, Make sure you use those condoms. That way, then, not a lot of people are just thinking, hey, she can't get pregnant. I guess I don't need a condom. No, you still need a condom, unless you get tested, before you go with that guy or girl and, find out, get all the tests done and show the test results to each other and be faithful, to each other, so it is, that's this world is that not everybody is faithful, and that's why, using a condom would be really a good thing. Not that it's 100%, to stop you from catching anything or getting a girl pregnant, is that you do want to, because things can happen, and, like things bad could happen to you. And so you want to protect yourself so those things do not happen. But if you've been abused as a child, either verbally, physically, neglect, or sexually, psychologically, where people are playing with head games with you, treating you like you're stupid. A lot of women go through that, where a lot of men, not all men, but they treat the women like they're stupid, and like just playing head games and acting like they're crazy when they're not, when they're really onto you, and they're trying to trick you, psychologically or whatever, to try to make you think that you're crazy. There's a lot of those kind of things that go on in different types of relationships. Not all men and not all women. Women can do the same stuff, so I don't want to sit here and just pick on men. But as far as me, that does happen. And we got to forgive those people. And sometimes this is where it's hard, is some things could have happened to you when you were a kid that did you ask for getting beaten? No, you didn't ask for it. Did you ask for to have your parents or your brothers or sisters call you a name? No. But you know what? It's a hard thing, because really what I didn't realize for most of my life, when the Bible says that, is forgive them, for they know not what they do. I had a hard time when I read that in the Bible. I'm like, forgive them. They knew what they were doing. They knew, you know. So I had a really hard time when I was learning this in the Bible. And now I see things differently, though. And what I mean is that some people, it could have been your family, your mom or dad, brother, sister, aunt, uncle, any of them, all of them, or a friend that you knew, or a stranger, or whoever, they could have done something really wicked to you when you were younger as a kid, where you couldn't defend yourself. You weren't being protected. You could have been neglected and all that stuff. And a lot of times what it is, it's a test. It's a lesson for you to learn. So then when you get older, that if because sometimes temptation knocks at your door, where after you've experienced it, even though you didn't ask for it, absolutely not, is that later on, I'm telling you, more than likely, somehow or another, someone's going to test you or tempt you to try to do that to someone else. And and forgive them for they know what they forgive them, for they know not what they do, is the other thing that I learned in my own life, is that sometimes there's people that are really, you think that they're in control of their life. Sometimes they're really not. I really do not trust medications that people, put people under. It can cause a person to do messed up stuff. Definitely medications can actually cause somebody to go and harm somebody, because their chemicals are all messed up by the medication, and I do know that there's some people that are being controlled, the puppet master. So you might have gone through hell as a child, but, and this is really hard for me to explain this, that sometimes, you might have thought they knew what they were doing. I saw they were looking at me when they did it, or whatever they did, and they did it not one time, but they might have did it to you many times, and depending on what they did. And you might have thought that the whole time that they knew, but how do you know that they weren't controlled to do that stuff to you? Did they ever say sorry to you? And maybe they did. Whether they said sorry to you or not, like all of us, have to forgive these people no matter what, no matter how horrible, if it was a stranger that you never know, like in whatever they did, we have to let that go, because that is actually, by not forgiving these people for what they did or what they have done or whatever, is that it closes up doors in your life that you're trying to get somewhere in your life. Well, God wants you to forgive these people, and you might have been tested in your life, like to do something yourself. Did you do the right thing? And that's where, like I have a problem with the way society is. They say once you've been abused, and that you're going to do that to your own kids, and that's a lie. That is not 100% true. Not all kids, when they get abused, whether what way they've been abused, it doesn't mean that they're going to run out and do that to their own kids or other people's kids. That's a lie. And I could say that because of the way I've been with my kids. So that does not mean that you're going to go out, but there are people, guys and women, that have. Like if you were beaten as a child, you might thought that was the way to discipline your kids when you get older. So there's different forms of abuse as far as beatings go. And these days, I'm not sure really. The last time I checked with a police officer, they said if it leaves marks, that's abuse. So like, is disciplining your kid like a spanking wrong? That's up to you to decide. Are you leaving marks? That's what you gotta, are you verbally abusing them? Or are you encouraging, inspiring them? They're gonna make mistakes. They're gonna do stuff wrong. They are gonna, get into trouble. And that's why it's so important to make sure you keep 2-3 eyes on them, and keep them busy doing good, positive stuff. Put them to work. Work is not gonna kill your kids. It will actually help them to get ready for the real world when they get older. So, you want to make sure you keep your kids occupied and busy doing great things. Get them into arts and crafts, get them out for hiking, teach them about nature. When I grew up, the woods was my playground. Get them, find out who their friends are. Have the kids come over at your house. Don't send your kids over at your friends, your kids' friend's house. Have them come over at your house. That way you can get to know them. And invite them over for dinner. Yeah, they're going to make a mess. They're going to make extra noise. But you know where your kids are. So, and you want to get to know the parents. Invite the whole family. Hey, come over our house, Friday night, or hey, maybe Friday's too much. Invite them over your house on the weekend. Say, hey, we really don't know each other. Come over. What do you like to eat? We'll just cook dinner for you, and our kids can play with your kids. Find out what are your kids' friends all about. Find out what kind of jobs do they have. What do they like to do? What do they, ask some questions. Find out, are they good, do you really want your kids hanging out with those kids, with those parents too. So you do got to forgive people in your life, whether you did anything to deserve anything, or really nobody deserves anything. But sometimes people think that I did that to you because you deserved it. So you really do. You got to forgive people. And like I said, sometimes, I found out this a long time ago that, that it is possible that people, without you realizing it, I believe it's the people that are sleeping, that are not quite awake to really what's going on, could get tapped into in their bodies, and can be manipulated somehow or another to do stuff, or even to say things to you. And you'd be like, why did they say this? This happened to me a couple of years ago, where, when I said something to somebody that I am going to go get healed, and I was taking vacation time, and more or less I wasn't going to be around them anymore, is they said all the craziest stuff I never heard before. I'm like, what in the world is up with this? It wasn't really them So I got to forgive them. Sometimes we're being attacked by a different force out there in this world that we're not even aware of. Sorry about that. There's a dark force and a light force. And, sometimes there's something out there, out in this world that can tap into people. And, you're hanging out with them. And then they say some funky stuff or do say, and you're like walking away, like, what was that all about? Do you want to keep on going back? And then you go back with them, hang out with them again, and then, more stuff happens. Like, what? Like, what is up with this? Why did they say this? Why did they do that? What made them say this? I'm like, believe me, I was a couple of years ago, I was so blown away about so many people that I had to let them go. I'm like, wow, you're the stuff that coming out of your mouth, things that you're doing to me, really? I had to let them people go. I got to forgive them. Right now, the reason why I wanted to make this video is because right now I'm going through stuff and I'm like, you know what? Like this is what happens when people do stuff. You want to, there's a part of you, which is your ego, that wants to, like kind of get back to them, right? Like your ego's like, like I want to say something or do something or, like have a way of paying them back. Please don't do that. If anything, stand up for your rights, but say things in a right, a good way. So you got to protect yourself because you got to understand those people that are doing stuff to you now. It might not be really them. They're not even really conscious enough to know exactly what they are doing to you. They might, it might have came out of their mouth, or they might have said what they said, but you gotta let it go. You gotta let it go because it can trip you up. And that's why I'm making this video, because Starlight did. I had some thoughts going on. Like, the way I am is that really, if somebody did me wrong, is I did actually confront a person recently, and and I know no matter how it went laid out, is that I was in the right, really. I confronted somebody of doing something wrong to me. And, where later on I kept on rewinding that whole situation in my mind. And I'm like, you know what? Enough. I really need to let this go. I need to forgive them. I need to keep my heart right with this whole situation. Like whether I'm right or wrong, or they are wrong or right, I got to keep my heart right. Because I am desiring blessings in my life. There's things that I desire in my life right now, like, a job, a job that I'm going to be happy with, or a place to live, a place that I feel comfortable and safe, where I get enough space, a relationship. So those things that I desire in my life, if I don't keep my heart right, and, like, it could trip everything up that I'm working on. So I don't want any of those problems to come, so I do. I got to keep my heart right, and I got to let it go. I got to let it go. And it's not easy. And, like there are people out there that they're so much into gossip and drama that, like, other people might know what's going on with the situation, but they don't know the whole thing. Is that it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks about whatever you're going through. It's what God. Think about when you do stuff, what would, what would Jesus do? Jesus always had some great stuff that would come out of Jesus' mouth. You can always be wise. It says be wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove. You can always, be wise with your words and just walk away. Don't spend any time with those people, but forgive them. Forgive them, for they know not what they do. There's different levels of consciousness on this planet. There's some people that are sleeping. Like they're not awake to really what is going on in this world. And they're blind to a lot of things that are going on. And there's levels to all this stuff. So you don't want to keep your heart hardened. You want to let that go. Forgive them. It doesn't mean that you have to, go to them. You can get right with God with them and say, okay, you know what, I'm not going to let this person affect me this way. I have to do the right thing. I got to let it go. Let God deal with them. Don't try to revenge. I've been tested the last so many years now about somebody would show me my flaws, and boy, I'll tell you what, that ego wanted to, get back and bite a little bit, but I didn't. I kept, because I love the person. I love the person, and yeah, they showed me my flaws. They showed the things that I have to learn a lesson on. But you know what? I kept my heart right. There's so many things I could have done to try to bite them back and just to kind of, but how is that going to really help me out? How is that going to really help them out? If we really want to see a change in the world, we got to let it go. I got to let it go. And that's what I did today. I said, you know what I do like I did today is, and where I live is I ignore the person totally. Act like I don't even see them. I'm not even gonna, I love you, but I'm not even gonna give you eye contact because I'm not gonna even look at you. And that's what I got to do with some people, not even look at them, just ignore them. Really, it's best to ignore them, block them out, because that's when we get all these horrible thoughts in our minds of, like getting hurt of what they did and what they said, or, and that, like you could know that they are in the gossiping and, spreading your name around and trying to make you look bad when here all you've been trying to do is be sweet and kind, is that you gotta let that go. You gotta let it go so you can move on. Let God deal with them and what they're going through, and understand that it is not personal. You could be getting attacked by an unseen force out there that you're not even aware of. So you don't want that force out there to take your power away, because when somebody gets you upset, you're giving your power away. And I didn't know that until a deep diver told me that years ago. And I'm like, I don't want to give them any power. So say thank you, universe. Thank you for this person is talking behind my back. Thank you, universe, for this person that is trying to run my, like spread my name out there. Like, like I don't care what those people think or what that person thinks about me. It's what God, really, it's what God thinks of me. If I'm doing right with God, I don't care about all that nonsense, really. And that's what I had to realize today. I don't care about that foolish nonsense out there. I care. God knows. God knows the truth. People can speak a lot of lies behind your back and talk behind your back or stab you in the back. But you know what? It doesn't freaking matter what they think. What does God think and know? What do you know? About what you did or what you didn't do. Don't worry about those haters out there or people that are going to judge you on, not righteously judgment, So there are those out there that you got to be aware of them and stay away from them. And if you're going to speak up and say something, make sure you know what you're saying, where they have no comebacks or whatever. And like Jesus was so awesome. I loved how Jesus did a lot of awesome stuff in the Bible and how his words were. I love Jesus a lot. That's why I'm like the way I am, is I love, Jesus so much. So, I love you too. I hope you really get a lot of help, but we really do. To keep our hearts right and not to give them power, we need to forgive them. Stop thinking about it. Let it go. It isn't worth your energy. It really isn't. And if you did let it bother you, you really should do some guided meditations to let that out of your body, because it can affect you in a really negative way. Avoid those kind of people, and so anyway, I do love you. I just really want you to do the right thing out there, is to really protect yourself and your family from people like that are out there. There are people out there that are like vampires. That's all they want to do is to drain your energy from you. And you got to be smarter than that. You gotta say, I see you. I see your ways. I'm not having you affect me in that negative way. I have things that I am desiring in my life, and I'm not going to let you be the one to stumble me up, trip me up over, foolish nonsense. So even online or anything like that, always be kind to people. I don't ever put a dislike on any videos. I love to put love on every single thing I like on a video, like a heart or whatever. So, you know, putting bad energy out there, like putting a thumbs down, is going to come back at you. You know, it's putting a negative energy out there. Just, you know, if you don't like it, don't watch it, you know, or go find a different video or whatever, you know, or leaving bad comments and all that stuff on videos. It's just best to not say anything at all, you know. And that's what I was taught growing up, not really where I live, but I was taught throughout my years later on. If you don't have anything nice at all, don't say anything at all. You know, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. You know, so that's a good thing to do, is just bite your tongue. You know. So anyway, I do love all of you. So you gotta forgive them. God loves you so much. He will bless you because you did. You know, don't you want a blessing from God, that God says, hey, you know what? I see that that was tough for you. You did the right thing. Now I'm going to open up this door over here for you because you kept your heart right. So anyway, I love all of you. And you can like this video, bing, bing, bing. You can also share my videos with a cat, a dog, your family members, your friends, and let's see, a skunk. A skunk. You got a pet skunk. They are cute when they're babies. So anyway, yeah, you could share my videos with your skunk. P.U. And also, don't forget, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. Don't forget the notification bell. Also, you can leave a message down below. Beep, beep, beep. Plus, you can follow me on Instagram, and that is at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook at Kathy with a K Dingman Starlight. And just to let you know, things are going to change on my YouTube channel really soon. So I really am going to take it day by day to see how I'm going to have to make some adjustments here as far as making videos. So please be patient with me. Things are going to change, and I hope it's going to go smooth. So thank you for taking the time out for watching my videos. I really hope you like it, and you could give it a thumbs up. So anyway, this is Starlight. Love and light. Peace.